Hi everyone, Gerry Dulac along with Ray Fittipaldo, where we just heard the Mike Tomlin news conference. Today's Steeler Report is brought to you by Savinas, Kane & Gallucci, mesothelioma and asbestos lawyers with over 85 years experience. Call them for a free consultation. And Ray, the big news from Mike Tomlin is he said they're preparing as though Justin Fields is going to start again in quarterback in Denver. That Russell Wilson is feeling better than he did. But he's not going to practice tomorrow. They'll see maybe what his availability is Thursday. But for right now, as of Tuesday afternoon, they're preparing for Justin Fields to come again.
Yeah, I thought Mike might be a little bit more coy and maybe have Sean Payton think, oh, who's going to be the quarterback on Sunday. But kind of spelled it out for us. If Russell Wilson can't practice on Wednesday or Thursday, it's doubtful that he's going to be able to go again this week in Denver. So I'm sure Wilson is disappointed in that. We all know his history with the Broncos and them having released him after last season. But as we sit here today, as Mike Tomlin said, it's going to be Justin Fields against the Broncos.
Well, and I think he still could be playing coy with Sean Payton by letting him think that they're going to prepare for Justin Fields. And then, of course, the Steelers will see where Russell Wilson is. Russell Wilson's their quarterback. They brought him in for a reason. But Mike Tomlin wants to see, one, his level of participation in practice, the quality of that participation, and can he protect himself. The only thing that's curious to me about the whole thing, Ray, is that he said he's feeling better than he did. Well, it's 3 days effectively since that decision was made, and I doubt I don't want to say I doubt, because then I'm reading into it. But it just makes me think, you would think he would be feeling better, but by being so kind of coy about this, it almost tells me he's not feeling better. Maybe he's feeling worse.
And that tells me this calf injury is probably something that's going to linger for a while. Number one, he said about Wednesday, Russell will not work in totality, which foreshadows he'll be limited in some sense. And then Mike also mentioned some battery of movement tests that he has to pass through with the doctors and trainers, so they can see what his level of participation will be like. So, as he said, there's a lot of ifs. He said it's a big if about Sunday, but right now it looks like Justin Fields getting the start in week 2.
Ray, we see what Russell Wilson off to the side in practice, going through all those different movements, when they put not the cones, but those mats down, and he goes in and out of them, and he seems to move okay. But I'll go back to something that Joe Burrow said last year, the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback. He said with his calf injury, which he played through, he said he couldn't push off the ground with his calf injury, and it started affecting his throwing mechanics. And so you're never going to truly feel that, discomfort or how limiting it is until you get into a game when you're going 120 miles an hour.
Right.
And so that's probably one of the big things too. But I haven't ruled out the possibility that Russell Wilson could play this week. But as of right now, that's not the way it appears.
I'll just go back to Sunday. I know you were on the field at this point. Russell Wilson went out before everyone else came onto the field, warmed up, but he didn't do anything full speed. So that kind of just tells you where he was on Sunday. We'll see where he is tomorrow on Wednesday. But he was not operating at 100% efficiency on Sunday morning.
Yeah, and what that told me Sunday morning too, Ray, when I was down on the field and he came out, is that no medical personnel were evaluating him, which means the decision had already been made. If it went up to game time decision, they would have had the doctors out there, they would have had the trainer out there, but that wasn't the case. So that's how you knew Russell Wilson wasn't going to play. And he really wanted to play in that season opener. Well, he really wants to play this game against the Broncos. And again, we'll see how it plays out. Mike Tomlin likes to play games in these situations. I'm not saying he is here, but it's going to put it past him to do it. And when he was asked a question about the national attention this is receiving, he went on and on, one about he doesn't care about the national attention. But we see him play this game just as much as last week. He's very coy about who his quarterback is going to be, as he did all through training camp. That's part of his MO.
He says he doesn't care about the national narratives. I had a late flight out of Atlanta yesterday. You flip on ESPN, Gerry. All the talk is about Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. Yeah, they were talking about the Browns and Cowboys and maybe one other big game, but by and large, every time I looked at the TV, it was Russell Wilson and Justin Fields.
Yeah, and let's not get too carried away with this too either, Ray. People want to compare this to the Mason Rudolph situation. last year. It's completely different. When Mason Rudolph came in, the offense was night and day from what it was with Kenny Pickett. They put up 34 points and then 31 points back to back, and there was no reason to take him out of the game. This is a little different situation. Yeah, the offense wasn't exactly firing on all cylinders, but they did have 6 field goals. I think they scored on 6 of the 10 possessions. And Justin Fields protected the ball, both running and throwing. But unless the offense would put up 50 points and you go, wow, he's really effective, let's not compare the situation.
Yeah, a couple of big plays down the field to George Pickens. But other than that, when you look at the final stat sheet, Gerry, 270 total yards. And I saw a passing chart that was floating around social media yesterday. Other than 3 passes to George that were all 10 yards or deeper, we know we have 2 deep ones of 30 or deeper. Other than that, everything was within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. Nothing in the middle of the field. So that tells you right there they were protecting Justin Fields. They had a game plan of where they wanted him to go with the football. And like you said, he executed it and he didn't turn the ball over.
There was a big moment Mike Tomlin pointed up in the game where he gained, I don't know how much it's confidence or trust, but he said he learned something about Justin Fields with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Got those little bugs, the lanternflies bugging me. Was 3rd and 5, and they came to the sideline, and they had the discussion. He said, "Look, we're going to put the ball in your hands. Go make a play," and he did. He rushed for 7 yards, didn't fumble, he protected the ball, and he said he learned a lot about Justin Fields in that situation.
And what was his quote after the game? He loved seeing his clear eyes. So, the moment wasn't too big for him. He rose up in that situation, and you're right, Gerry. He made a few plays with his legs. If he didn't do it with his arm, he certainly made a few with his legs.
Mike Tomlin said in terms of injuries, there's a little uptick is the word he used for Roman Wilson coming back and returning to practice. That would be good news, but when you're a rookie and you miss all that time in training camp, it's tough to get involved in the offense, but at least it would be a good sign to get him out there and maybe get him involved by week 5, week 6, who knows.
Hey, other than George Pickens, there wasn't a lot going on with the receivers. 2 other receivers, Van Jefferson and I think it was Scotty Miller, combined for 2 catches for 8 yards. It was not good.
Well, that's going to do it for our Steeler report today. We'll have more for you during the week. The Steelers play Sunday, 4:25 in Denver. For Ray Fittipaldo, I'm Gerry Dulac. You're watching Post-Gazette.com.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit Post-Gazette.com.